It's Independence Day, so we have to be giving you some songs that we used to enjoy back in the days. That's why we're not getting the Sarkodie and medicals and all that, if that's what you're expecting. But you're welcome back. It's still Entertainment Review, and it's time for our discussion. And today we are looking at the evolution of Ghana movie, and we have some great people here that are going to help us have this discussion. And I'm going to start with William Kujo Agbeti. He is the director. He is a director and he directed Queen of Accra and Azali. And also I have David Ni Ama. I hope I got the name correct. He is the writer of Queen of Accra and Azali. And Ishmael Ofoli Anum. He also worked on the sound of these movies that I have mentioned. Queen of Accra and Azali. Welcome to the Table of Life. It's quite big, so we call it the Table of Life. I mean, before we talk about the whole Queen of Accra and Azali, which is currently trending, everyone is talking about it on Twitter, and a whole lot of conversation that have come up because of the language used in Queen of Accra. Let's talk about evolution. I mean, let me start with the writer. So, David Niyama, you are the writer. I mean, let's look at the evolution of Ghana movies in terms of writing. How would you say Ghana movies have evolved so far when it comes to writing? Okay. Please.
William and
yeah.
Ishmael, they were part of Azali. We didn't write or direct that.
Okay.
Okay, that was Kwabena Jansa's project.
Okay.
A motion supported in that.
Motion supported that. Yes. All right. Thank you very much for that correction. Yeah.
So the main production for motion is this one, which is the Queen of Accra.
Queen of Accra.
So this is the maiden production for Motion Revolution.
Okay.
Right.
But William directed.
No. So
William was a cinematographer,
Okay.
editor, and VFX on Azali.
Okay.
Right, but director, cinematographer on the Queen of Accra.
Okay. All right. So you can go ahead and answer my question for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So the evolution of cinema specifically.
Yeah.
Right.
Writing. Yes.
Okay. So the early days of cinema after the colonial period, all writings that discussed the effect of the colonial legacy. Stories where Ken Ampao, Pao and Sa, kind of the Heritage Africa, The Road to Kukwantumi, Boy Kumasenu, all these kind of writings were immediately, you could call them the aftermath of the colonial era.
Yeah.
So that was the society at that time. Then we come into the early 90s where cinema seemed to have gained its arguably strongest footing in Ghana. And then you have people like Veronica Kwashi and so on and so forth coming up with now more social stories.
Yeah.
So you'd have, the titles are eluding me right now, but I'm sure you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We had the police, Gordon Curtis, police inspector. We had Ripples. We had the Ghost. That was...
I'm sure some of us were not born then.
So back then, so those were more social stories, telling the stories pertaining within that world. As at that time, the 90s, early 90s, early 20s.
Yeah.
Then the trajectory for more experimental writing came into being. So you have writings that were going beyond the norm, especially when we started having collaborations with Nigerians. Then our writing started drifting. But then we went more into the spiritual. So we're doing more witchcraft stories, flying kind of, But now we've come to a period where I think we're now beginning to look more into our laws, our folklores, our heritage, our history, All right, and that's where the Queen of Accra sort of fits, because
Fits
now
in,
it's
yeah.
within that world. You know, if we call the earlier days experimentation, then this particular period is implementation, and we've learned over the years
Yeah.
what we want to say. I think Ghana has now found its voice when it comes to writing.
Okay.
So we're doing beyond glamour. We're doing beyond sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
True.
we are now digging into ourselves. And that's wonderful. Within ourselves, we have an untapped wealth of stories.
Okay.
And when I say ourselves, I mean Ghana.
Yeah.
Every division, every region, every clan, every tribe.
Yeah.
We have so much in that. And I think that's where we're going now. A few more people are being very adventurous, still doing the experimentation. In fact, cinema cannot live without experimentation.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are still experimenting, but now the trajectory is gone beyond the
Yeah.
post-colonial and then the
Yeah.
early 90s, you know, all of that.
Yeah, and some people do complain that we copy Indian movies. I mean, when it comes to the writing, and then we just tweak it. But I'm glad that you said that now we are looking into our culture and all that. William, let me come to you.
But before you bring it, you know, he was talking about, you know, drifting when we, you know, featured Nigerians and all that. But, you know, our move with Nigerians, was that a blessing in itself or nothing less of that?
Okay, so nothing is ever bad.
Okay.
Our move to collaborate with the Nigerians back in the day was a very good move. In fact, it was a move where the Nigerians came to understudy Ghana, because Ghana was the main filmmaking hub in West Africa.
Wow, I like that.
But
So, but what they have going for them
Right.
is the population and then the willingness of investors to
okay.
put money into their productions. And that was what we were lacking. So it was just a matter of time before they overtook. And then once you're in the front, you sort of dictate what goes.
But it's
so-
sad that, you know, these people would come and understand
Yeah.
us, and
Yeah.
then it seems they are far ahead.
And then take it up.
at this very moment, yes.
Yeah.
And we always talk about lack of investment. And for me, I was thinking that was just in the music industry, but it seems we are facing the same challenge in the film industry as well.
Quite
Rather unfortunately, right?
Quite interesting. But
Yeah.
William, as a director, I mean, how do you think our movies have evolved when it comes to style and themes?
Well, yes, also to buttress the point of David, you know, as in terms of those times, the effects, as David says, of colonialization on our movies, and now we've got to the world where, you know, people are now thinking about expressionism, how they are able to express their ideas and thoughts through movies. Then we are in this era where, you know, we've missed the past in the early 80s, early 90s, you know, and movies can reflect our past. It can reflect us as a society. It can also put highlights on our history, our culture, our movement, and all that. So now, yes, we are in a generation where, you know, some of these things are gone. And how do we best educate, you know, this generation on the stories of Nkrumah, the stories of Sumanguru, the Red Hunter, Tohazi, and all that. Now, those of us who grew up in the early 80s now are understanding the fact that, you know, some of these cultural relevance placed on our history as a society is lost. So how do we recap them? And the best medium that we can translate our vision, you know, is through films, through music. And these days you can hear a lot of, you know, colonial time music coming up and all that. And I think falling back into retrospect, you know, gives us identity as a country and as a people. And directors are even tapping more into the space. I'm pretty happy that, you know, this is not the only local Ghanaian film that has come up this year. A lot of directors like Kwabena Jansa, you know, did justice to Akoto. That is also an Asian story.
Yeah.
And then the likes of Governor Richard also in the space did something on Asi, also reflecting on the life of the people living in the Volta region, you know, and all that. So I'm happy that directors are now waking up. You know, some time back, I asked myself, what is the true identity of the Ghanaian film industry?
Yeah.
Because what most of the things that we see within the space really does not reflect us as
Yeah. So westernized.
it's so
yeah.
westernized, and the glamour was becoming too much, and the point we were
Right.
promoting sex nudity,
Yeah.
just to get the hype. But here, yes, there is an epiphany that people, are now getting out, or rather waking up to. And that epiphany is, who are we as a country?
I like that.
Who are we as an individual? Who are we, and what is our past? And you can only define your future if you know your past. As Bob Marley says, if you know your history, you know where you're coming from.
Yes.
And now I appreciate directors are looking back.
I mean, Ishmael, let me come to you. When it comes to sound, would you say that we've gotten better? Because, I told you so. Like, when you watch it now, the sound quality is very good as to compare to some of our movies that we have now. So do you think that our sound has evolved? Has it gotten better?
Yes and no, because some movies, don't have that kind of sound that kind of will speak of the quality that the people want. But it's a gradual process. Like people are waking up.
Yeah.
So I believe that there will be time that you will really get there. Yeah. So there are people too that are helping with you.
Yeah.
So because when you look at most of the Hollywood movies, they have 5.1 sound, which is 5.1 surrounding. But we don't do that here. So those are some of the things that are affecting filmmakers and
And I also feel also to touch up on that, technologies have improved over the years. Those times we didn't have, technology baked so much into the gadgets we're using, how you're able to cut frequencies, the microphones, the condensers and all that. So these days, if you look at sounds in those era, and look at the technology we have here, we have the technology to improve on our sound.
So is it about money? Is it that we don't have the money to purchase these equipment?
Surprisingly, they are not expensive.
Okay.
They are not expensive. Acquiring the knowledge to use these things is equally as important as getting them.
Okay.
So if you have the best of equipment and you don't have the know-how, to operating them, you realize you have good things, but you cannot get the best out of it. I feel technology has improved greatly. That these days we are able to pick better and clearer frequencies.
I mean,
Right. Yeah. Right. But, he was speaking about how at a point in time there was a lot of nudity, among others, in our movies. And now, it looks like times have changed where we are trying to tell our stories the way it is. But comparing that time and now, which one are Ghanaians accepting more?
You see, as I said, the craving for, not a lot of people were born in the 80s. Not a lot of people, we have a lot of
Gen Zs.
Do you get it?
Right.
And we've seen a lot.
Yeah.
If you look Hollywood across, if you look at Bollywood, a lot of them are promoting their cultures. So now education is also so great that now we want to Africanize ourselves more.
Yeah.
The Pan-African spirit is reviving, in us. And people are now waking up to the fact that, it's so much of, we borrowing from other cultures. Now, what is our true culture? What's our true identity? And I think that is an evolution. Spiritually or physically, it's happening. It's because of the conscientization, you understand, that is happening in society. And people are now beginning to feel that, I want to know more of my past. I want to know more of me as an African, as a Ghanaian, and better we creatives right now have the opportunity to tap into the thirst of society and how we are able to use our creative and artistic vision to do something that will satisfy them.
I mean, when they released Woman King, a lot of people were complaining that the writer didn't really tell the story of which country? I want to remember. Benin.
Yeah.
They didn't really
They
give
skipped
that,
a lot of things that
and
was
that
supposed to be
Africans should be able to tell their stories.
Right.
Well, do you think that we, as Ghanaians, as movies are evolving, are we able, this question goes to any of you, so are we able to really tell our stories? Do we really have our history, our culture? Do we really have the knowledge about it and to be able to retell it well, that we are not going to westernize it. I mean, do you think we have
skip some
that?
important details?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think we do. But here's the thing about creativity, something that's called an artistic license. So every creative has this imaginary invisible license to reimagine any part of the story as they deem fit. It does not necessarily mean that they do not have a firm grasp on the history or what is supposed to be. It is just because they want to play with what is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So depending on the lens you're looking at it from, you may be getting it totally wrong. If the writer set out to do an accurate historical piece and misfires, then you have a point. But if the writer set out not to do that, but to reimagine that history, then he's created a new world in addition to the one you know. And so you think that he's faulted, but that actually is what the person is set out to do. Okay, so the question is, yes, a lot of us know what we want to do, but a lot of us also play with what already is.
Okay.
Because,
so that's
you know,
what happens.
Yes, because there are some films or movies that would see and they'll say these are real life stories. These are things that have happened in the past, but somehow they play around it. They don't tell it as it was. They add a bit of fiction.
Now,
to it.
the thing about real life is life
Right.
is not interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
If we were to play your
Okay.
whole life
Right.
on the screen, people would doze off.
Ah,
No matter how exciting your life is,
right.
real
Yeah.
life is never always enough for the
Yeah.
screen.
Okay.
So you need to add the ingredients that make watchers or viewers want to sit the entire duration of the film.
Okay.
Okay, and so it's in bringing those things that then we begin to sort of deviate from what you think should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a particular encounter you had with someone, but for the screen it's not dramatic enough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it needs to be,
People love drama
Right.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
drama is life, it is action.
Okay.
So,
Very
But
interesting.
we've had this discussion here before about the current state of the Ghana movie industry, and they say that the industry is dead. I mean, but each and every day movies are being premiered, movies are being, coming out and all that. As a director, what do you have to say about this?
Yes, if to understand, when you say our movie industry is dead, then it's something you are looking at. You are speaking through another spectrum, probably not familiar. There are a lot of young guys out there, creatives out there that are doing great. If I would say to you now that there are about 1,001 movies shot this year, but there's no marketing opportunity for them.
Okay, so that's the problem. Marketing
Yes.
opportunities.
Marketing opportunities for them. So yes, if you want to give the young guys the opportunity, if avenues could be open, for everyone to present their works, then you would know that we have about 1 million movies that Ghanaians have not seen. I have a movie that you have not seen.
Yeah.
Because there's no marketing opportunity for it. I have a production. We actually did a production,
Yeah.
and it's sitting on our desk right now.
Wow.
So here we are looking for who to go to, who to invest, and that's the very reason why we went to Aquaba Magic.
Yeah.
And okay, we have great ideas. Okay, William, David, Ishmael, let's talk. What do you have? Okay, we want to tell our folk tale, our folk stories. So yes, we need a right kind of investment to do that.
Okay.
Then Aquaba Magic says, okay, you know what? We can give you the funding to do that. If that opportunity was not given, we would be another filmmaker
Yeah.
who you can never know of. Will not have the opportunity to come into this space
Okay.
to have this interview. Ghana will not be talking about our movie and would ask. We didn't just appear in the industry, and
Yeah.
people would say,
bang our way out.
Yeah.
people would say,
Right.
"Where from
Yeah.
these guys?" I mean, they did their first movie, and then
Yeah,
that is a
out there.
breakthrough.
Yeah.
They have
Unfortunately,
zero.
It's not the first.
Yes, we
Yeah.
give credit to God, the patience, the trials, the temptations, the
Yeah.
hectic
And not
time.
giving up.
Not giving
Very
up and
important.
all that, because yes, it's like fighting against the storm. You want to break through, but the opportunities are not there, and then passion. Because if you really want to concentrate, about financing, you lose the hope. You understand? But at a point, passion has to drive you.
Yeah.
You understand? If passion prevails, then opportunity to make money from your projects will come.
But you know, I understand him as a sound right.
So we have
Written-
videos
okay,
to show,
let's
so that
play
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure that viewers are wondering. Let's have a look at these videos. So let's take a look at some short clips of the movies they've been mentioning about. So yeah, let's take a look at it.
This aloe ball just came visiting us. And as you are aware, it calls for a fight. As you step out today, remember that the aloes are no good people.
Bears are the most intelligent and most powerful species of humans on Earth.
I'm in love. She's a Vera, Veralyn.
How could you be in love with a Vera? You have to stop this feeling.
It's too late, Aludin. It's already entered my system.
Why can't I love whom my heart wants?
Oh, shut up. You think you're the wisest among the Veras?
Halloween!
Hello, Maria. You're a very beautiful girl.
Your brother is acting weird, and I want you to keep an eye on him. Remember, you're undercover.
Okay.
Don't show your face.
If you see an aloe or anything belonging to them on your land, blow your whistle. Hey. Papa Halloween has a top secret. You don't mean it.
Are the aloes as bad as we've been told?
Very, very bad. Everything we say about them is true.
You and an aloe must never breathe or blink at the same time.
Be honest, these colors tearing us apart.
You cannot sing with a Vera. How hard is it for you to understand that you cannot do anything with them?
You see, you have disgraced me.
So we played you I Told You So, which is an old movie, and then Aloe Vera, which is very recent. I mean, as I said, we are looking at the evolution of Ghanaian movies. So I'm going to take each and every one of you, your thoughts. You from sound, directing, and then as a writer. So let me start with sound. Sound, you haven't spoken that much. So I Told You So and Aloe Vera. What do you have to say about these two? I mean, if you're comparing.
Hey, the era is kind of far different from what we just saw. I realized that they also did well with their sound, but it was a bit far with what we just saw. But with the Aloe Vera is more of a bit like, and more modernized in the way the sound was picked. But still, we've not gotten there. I still believe we've not gotten there yet.
Okay.
Probably we just still need more knowledge. Just to improve upon what, if we really want to do Hollywood stuff. Yeah.
But are you talking in terms of sound, or as if we've not gotten there in terms of sound or creativity?
In terms of the sound.
Yeah, I mean, he's a sound person.
Yeah, but you know, he was saying that, you know, sounds is not even that expensive when it comes to sound. It's not that expensive. So why haven't we gotten there? Is it that we have just decided not to do the right thing, or what really is the problem? In terms of sound.
Sound when it comes to the industry. Sound is very crucial.
Right.
But not everybody wants to be a sound person. So a lot of the time, people will go and study all the revered roles. You want to be a director, you want to be a writer, you want to be a producer, you want to be a cinematographer, you don't want to be the sound man.
Yeah.
Because all you see him do in your mind's eye is he's always standing holding the boom when everyone else is seated. You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and so not so many people are well trained when it comes to sound. Now, there's a whole world about sound and audio for film. So sound is what you're picking up on location. The audio is what you're working out in post-production.
Yeah.
Same way you learn about directing and writing, you need to learn about sound. Sound is science and it is art.
Yeah.
If you get the science wrong, the art will be ugly. And so it's a world where not so many people are interested.
Yeah.
Worldwide, there is a depreciation in the amount of sound people because everyone is drifting towards the more appreciated role.
Yeah.
So they may even start with sound, but before you know they're into directing, they're into writing.
Exactly.
You know, it's just recently I realized that when you watch a Hollywood movie and even the walking sound, you see them walking, but it's created.
Right.
And then later on,
Yes.
like, I mean, it's amazing. So, directing. I told you so,
Yes.
and aloe vera.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was looking at subject matter of the two
Yeah.
films. One, you know, if you look at the generations, they are generations apart. I Told You So was in 1970s. And if you look at the storyline, the structure, and I'll talk about a few things. One is, you know, the subject matter, the young girl who never took advice from her mother and father went into marriage because I've seen a man, you know, and those times, very particular, nurturing female, nurturing women, how you are able to prepare them for marriage and society. And you look at rights like depot and all those puberty rights. I don't think you've gone through your puberty yet. Do you get it? So, yes, it's very important to listen to parental advice. Very important to listen to your parents who have knowledge, who have experience, you know, so they can usher you into a life that, for me, it's well-desired and created for you. But now it's autonomy, okay? I know my right generation, self-aggrandizement. You know, you want to do your own thing. And these days, parents don't have influence much on, you know, and that is the subject of that era and the subject now. You can see that now we're a different breed of people, different generation of people. If you look at style and techniques also that was used, camera technology at the time has not improved like it were today. So if you want to talk about artistry, use of lighting, you have to be very particular because that was black and white. Okay, so you have to choose colors that can contrast well, you know, visually. You can't appreciate white, you know, and you can't appreciate black because you can't appreciate color and then black and white because red is black on screen. You know, so how do you choose your costume? And that is very technical. Because you can't choose costumes that, for me, if you're shooting a night scene, you put on black, you know, and
How we see
dark
we are
colors,
also dark.
and you are in the space, you know. So people were very creative and very particular about choice of colors and how it translates visually to the one scene or viewing. Now again, you look at this generation, aloe vera. Look at the contrast. Where you can appreciate color. You know, now you have monochromatic display, polychromatic display, colors.
Some technical terms.
You know, do you understand? Bicolor, monocolors, and you can see the beauty of it because you can, if you do aloe vera in 1970s at the time of I Told You So, you lose it.
You won't at all.
Visually, you lose it. And now, because of Steadicam technology, cameras now are more fluid, they can move. I Told You So had used a technique called cinema verite. It's more observing, just camera observing. So at a point you realize the camera is still just observing people, you understand? But these days, the camera can fly. We have drones, we have all these. So you are able to, you know, experiment bigger and better in this generation. And I feel, yes, over time, yes, we are attempting new subjects, you understand? But eventually the storytelling is still the same. Stories are always been told the same. But now it's with the use of technology.
I mean, me as a writer, You know, we hardly see screenplay in our movies. It's just recently that I used to really study, end credit of Hollywood movies, and I see screenplay. So I was like, is screenplay different from the writer? Is screenplay? I used to ask myself that question until I went to school and then we were taught, and I was like, okay, screenplay actually writes about everything, like how you're gonna look, how you're gonna, turn your head and all that. Comparing these movies, what do you have to say when it comes to writing?
Touch briefly on the distinction between
The screenplay. Okay, great.
All right. So the writer assumes that both story and screenplay emanated from the same person. Screenplay means that you didn't come up with the idea for the story, but you just did the adaptation for the screen.
Okay.
So you can have an idea, you share with her, she puts it in screenplay format, she's going to get screenplay credit, you're going to get story credit. But then if she came up with the story and developed the screenplay, then she's going to get a full written by credit.
Okay.
Okay. And then, all right, so comparing the I told you so, and then aloe vera. The world of writing has evolved, but then it hasn't changed so much, and this is what I mean. So the way to present story has always been to have it wholly presented. You need a beginning, you need a middle, you need an end. That doesn't change in whatever story you are telling. Okay? Cinema emanated from or grew out of theater. So in the very early days, a lot of the writings were very similar to theater stage performances. And that also tied in with how they were shot.
Yeah.
Very observatory. From a distance, as if you're watching the action take place. It has semblances of documentary filmmaking. So you're watching a film at a point, it feels like it's documentary, but it's the film. It was a style for that time. Now, there are so many screenwriting templates, structures, story structures that are based on research, audience viewership, view span. So, for example, these, I told you, scenes could go for like 5 minutes for a scene or more.
Yeah.
Now you do that, your story needs to be really good because the audience is going to say 3 minutes for your scene. So now we are doing 3-minute scenes the whole duration of the hour and 30. They didn't necessarily have to do that because that research then was not there. The best of stories are the human-centered stories where people get to emote. Emotion is action, And we've learned a lot about those in this time. So we write in such a way that everyone can connect easily. Okay, and we are using structures that have been tried, tested, and proven. We are developing new genres. When these films were out, I told you so, for example, the genre list was not as long as we have now.
At all.
Now we have a very tall list of genres. Combination of the main genres, and then we have the subgenres. And so the writing has evolved in that sense. But the core of it is how to present the story, making sure you have a character who is going through a predicament that the audience can bond or associate with, and then you make this character have a good resolution in the end. That hasn't changed. So in that sense, story is still...
the submissions so far, you can tell that they really know what they are doing.
Absolutely.
And I, for one, I am very excited about Queen of Accra because it's a biopic about a queen. And we have a trailer, so let's take a look at it.
Benke mommy, anyenu. Na kolo edenche.
Hello.
Mukumini chucho. Kwe na kucho.
Baba na yo sido ya.
Trakeji.
Nas mamo kari New York habo. Como mo Dubai. Manuel minta na ke habo. Manya uke wa bedomo. Ode.
Esani sao hibona feni obaye energy. Amokoko.
Maybe osusu.
Sanugbe machabi nule. Sainla hino mabujini.
Nwake mkomani pa majamai. Shimihimi ye.
Mama drop to you looking.
Kai loko evomuji. Ele evomuji. Onu.
Chachu ulule. Enyo. Macheleke wopedo.
So this is actually epic. It's just the trailer, and for one, I have goosebumps because this is a biopic of a queen I've never heard of. I mean, now do they Akabi, if I'm correct. I have never heard of her, but the story. I mean, let me start with you. I mean, because they all started with you as a writer. What informed you writing about this particular, queen? Because this is the first time I've heard of her.
Sure. And that's one of the reasons why the subject is her. But what actually initiated this whole process was us approaching Aquaba Magic, telling them, trying to get into the commission project sphere. So discussions went on, and then we settled on this. Like we said earlier on, Motion Revolution is about laws. It's about legends, our roots, So once they also presented such an idea, we're like, this is within our world. So then let's do it. So then that sparked the conceptualization for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
William, as a director, how difficult or easy was it to portray this queen?
It's not difficult.
Hey.
And it's not easy. I believe pre-production is very important. Talking to the right persons, individuals who understand, the fundamental, that is the script, is very important. So yes, we hit a lot of research buttons. We had to do our backgrounds, especially when you're talking about a subject that people are very familiar with, where access to getting information on those things are all over. So yes, that is basically what we had to do. We had to do a lot of research. We need to engage people, and we need to get some things right technically, to achieve this.
How long did it take to?
Shooting was less than a month.
Less than a month. Wow. So the cast and
21 days. More than,
Yeah.
Less than a month.
Pre-production was just like 2 weeks or 2 3 weeks at the time we were commissioned.
You make it look so easy.
And I think, indeed, because they've had experience over
Yeah,
the years,
listening to
I
them.
can bet that if you are a new person trying to write or direct this, you can never do it under a year or under a month. It's not possible. But with sound, you've also definitely, from what you've been saying, you've had your own experience with these movies over the period. And what will you say in regards to this particular one?
You mean the challenges?
Right, the challenges or
when you look at
the gunshot. Was it real?
No, it was created. Yeah. With the sound, you realize that we shot most of the film were shot at the seaside, either waterfalls or riverside, and you realize that the sound coming from the surroundings, the ambience,
Yeah, the
so strong that
winds,
you have to
yeah.
find your way.
Yeah.
You have to find your way to get the quality that you want for the film. And we were able to do that because, you know, as she said, we've been doing it for quite a long time. Yeah, so we're able to maneuver our way to make it the way it sounds.
Yeah, that, I mean, the
So let
trailer
me just
alone, yeah.
add on to the sound. So the most amazing thing about this is, let me pose a question. Did you like the audio that you heard from the film?
I loved it. I loved it.
Okay, none of it was recorded in the studio.
Okay.
Ooh.
Everything on set.
Everything is
Wow.
production sound, right
Wow.
from the set. So right in front of the sea waves, we got you that quality sound.
Wow.
Yeah, and
did you do that?
interestingly, it's also a big learning curve for us. You know, because I'm pretty sure the sound man, we were all concerned. If you look at the ambient sound, the waves, the crashing waves that were coming from the seas, and as compared from Accra to Volta region,
Yeah,
there's
in
a
between.
vast, Volta region is like, I'm pretty sure it was like bigger and thunderous.
That's,
I like that word.
that's a raging sea.
Thunderous, yeah.
The sea in
Yeah.
Accra is calm.
Yeah.
Volta is raging. It's boisterous.
Raging.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's not like shooting just, all the locations were like the proximity of the places we were shooting to the sea. It's just like where you and I are just.
And
sitting.
this all
That's
fit into less than a month.
in less than a month.
This is like magic then.
You know?
Yeah.
Because usually when we see movies under this period, it's usually not.
Okay,
It's-
yeah.
And that's
wow.
the kind of pressure, the enormous pressure, you know, placed on the shoulders of the production team and
Yeah.
actors, you know, for them to do this.
And
under
honestly,
such-
I think this is Netflix worthy.
Definitely.
It is. Because just watching the trailer, I am very curious. I really want to know about this queen. This, I mean, Ghana queen. And you know, on Twitter, people were talking about the language used, and some were complaining that why is it Ghana should have been Chi, and it's sparked this whole conversation about how some others get angry when you tell them you can't speak Chi. Like Chi is the only language that we speak in Ghana here.
Right.
And I, for one, I am so glad that it's in Ghana. And it's about Ghana, not because I'm part Ghana Dangbe.
But you know, it is interesting
Yeah.
to know that people will take time to watch a Chinese movie in China.
Yeah.
And they will watch an Indian movie.
Yeah. And there's
they watch
subtitles.
right.
Yes.
And there are subtitles,
And
and they
even
watch to
Korean
understand, right?
Yes.
So is it us just not appreciating our own,
Yeah.
or is it
We have a
us
long way
just,
to go.
I think
You know,
that's what it is.
You
Yeah,
know,
right.
We don't appreciate each other.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
think so.
problem.
Yeah, I think that is also a problem that we need to surmount
Right.
as a country. You know, it's like you have made in Ghana goods, very, very quality, and you're purchasing something from somewhere else. If the movie industry will grow, we need to appreciate our own products, and that is very important. You know, if we have to make our next movie, you know, which is going to be epic, then it means we have to ride on the success and acceptance of society.
Yeah.
You understand? If society accepts our work, then it gives us, it channels a lot of energies from all diversities,
Yeah.
Accra, Ghana,
Yeah.
to us. And once we are able to imbibe the true spirit of the Ghanaian diversity with that level of acceptance, then we can do greater
We can.
works.
When is this movie being premiered?
It's
I heard
showing
it's
now.
today.
Showing now. It's
Today.
playing now.
It's showing now. Akwaba.
On Aquaba.
Akwaba Magic. So those of us who don't have DSTV,
Don't worry,
have to
yeah.
get
You
it.
what
get
can you
it.
do for us?
Oh, it's
it's-
easy. There are we have the app
Okay.
on your
okay.
mobile phone.
Okay.
As before coming, we're even watching.
Yeah,
it
well,
on our
that's what I
mobile
was
phone.
watching when
Okay.
we came in. Yes.
We were watching that.
But
So
have you gotten offers from Netflix? So like, because this is a Netflix worthy movie. It should be there.
yeah, we're
there.
praying and hoping that it would strike the right chords.
Okay.
It will open the right doors.
Yes.
And I'm sure Grace would lead us
definitely
there.
fun. Because it's good.
Yeah, and you did mention marketing challenge. Are you facing the same with this particular?
Because this is a commission project from Akwaba Magic. You know, they already have a platform, they have their engagement, they have their subscribers. So, yes.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, the camera guys in there, they want to know the kind of cameras you use for this
Is it
particular
an
one.
information that I would want
Yeah.
to give out? I am okay. To be frank,
Hold on, before he comes in, we just want to say this. It really doesn't matter the equipment you use.
Yeah, it's the knowledge.
Yeah, it's
It's the
basically
knowledge.
it's one of the things I wanted to say. You know, that it is not really about the camera. Do you get it? Because we have very good mobile phones right now. The iPhones, the Samsung.
Yeah.
They are so good at taking videos and pictures. What you need to understand, cinematography is light. Writing with light.
Yeah.
So for me to do a very quality production with the kind of pictures that everybody's talking about, you need to you need to have knowledge in lighting. You understand? And Ishmael also says, okay, it's not just about the technology in your hands, understanding your environment, how you navigate your problems and pick the best quality sound. So I believe people should rather not think much about what camera was used.
It's all about the
because
knowledge,
if I mention the camera, you understand, and you don't have the money, you know, the pecuniary backing to purchase that, it means you're stuck. And that would be a very bad advice for me to give to an upcoming person who may not have that level of, you know,
That's
equipment.
true.
So, but what I can advise is that believe in your ability to do something and invest time to learn.
Okay. Thank you very much. I mean, it's been an insightful conversation. I mean, learning about the evolution of Ghanaian movies. And we've had William Agbeti. I'm looking on my phone because I want to get it correct. And he's a director. And David Ni Ama, who is a writer. And Ishmael Ofuli Anum. Your name, the Ofuli?
Hopefully,
See, if you know the R and L.
Thank
God. For the guns and the R is for the Ashanti, so,
But thank you very much for joining us on this table. And Queen of Accra is showing. Please go and watch it.
we also want to appreciate someone.
Okay.
Gomez Tito, he did the scoring
for
the trailer and the film.
Okay.
Gomez,
And Gomez, we've been working with Gomez for so many years. You know, he did the scoring for Azali too. A lot of people are talking about the sound. The sound,
Yeah,
was
the
it from libraries? Did we buy them online? So yes, it can be produced right here in Ghana.
Wow.
So yeah, Gomez
So it's
Tuto,
possible.
Hambler Studios. I appreciate it. I also want to take this opportunity to also thank a few people that worked on the project. Production design by Edmond Johnson, and a light gaffer team, Christian Agbetiafa, AC's Raj Nutifafa, Moses Melanjaba, and Christiana. Also is our school
So the
script
list
supervisor.
goes on and on.
Joy Agudu is
Okay.
our excellent costume designer, and the rest of the team.
But you know why that is so important? Because this is actually a team effort.
Yeah.
You have just 3 people here, but these 3 people wouldn't have been able to do anything without the backing of these people.
That's true.
And so we'd like to shine the light on them also.
And kudos to the actors as well.
Yes.
They did amazing.
Melissa
Notte.
Yeah. So thank you very much. It's been insightful. Still, I mean, the Independence Day version of Entertainment Review